Welcome to the Smiles Are Wild channel, brought to you by Pediatric Dental Associates and Orthodontics. My name is Amy Morgan. We will be bringing you fun and educational videos weekly to help you take better care of your child's oral health care needs at home and on the go. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to see all of our new videos. And remember, it doesn't really matter how you take care of your teeth as long as you take care of them from the beginning. So now for today's topic, Hannah. Yes. So March 7th through 13th is National Dental Assistants Recognition Week. So I've kind of spent the week kind of highlighting some of our staff members. We put up a really cute video of all their pictures. Every day this week, one of them or a pair of them have taken over our Instagram accounts. And they've kind of been able to interact with our patients a little bit more this week, which has been super fun. And so I wanted to interview a staff member. And so I picked Hannah. There's a certain reason why I picked Hannah. And I'll tell you why. It's because she's not scared of the camera, because she's technically like TikTok famous, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. So we wanted to come on here, kind of talk to you, just kind of, let's talk about what it's like to work at PDA and then kind of more day in the life type stuff for a dental assistant. So Hannah has been with us since 2018. She works in our Bentonville office and she is currently Dr. Garrett's treatment assistant. But she kind of does all the things as most of our dental assistants end up having to do. We do have some that are more specialized in the treatment area as far as that's their main job, which is pretty much what Hannah does. But that also coincides and sends her into the hygiene schedule as well at the end of her day. So one of the first things I just want to know is kind of like, how does your day go? Like, we're open 8 to 5. So like, how early do you get to work? What do you have to do to prepare to come into work, especially right now during the pandemic?
Yeah, sure. So I get here at 7:30 every morning. You have to open up your room from closing it down the night before. You got to turn everything on, wipe everything down because the cleaning crew comes in at the end of the day and we don't want to mix their chemicals with patients. So we clean it with our stuff prior to seeing the patient. Then you set up for the first patient. We start at 8 o'clock. Usually the treatment appointments are an hour long. Sometimes they don't really take that long, but after the patient, you walk them back up front, go back, clean your room, get ready for the next one. We do that from 8 to 1, then we go to lunch and come back in the afternoon, do the same thing. At the end of the day, we close down everything, just kind of how we opened it up, make sure everything's put away, stocked, clean, just to open it back up the next day and start again.
Sure. I think our dental assistants have a very big job here, and that all of our staff here that you see in the back office, majority of them are considered what the state would consider a dental assistant. We do have hygienists on staff who come around and scale. They also see some of our hygiene patients. They also numb for our patients. But other than that, our dental assistants are the one rocking the show. So we want to make sure that they get their recognition. And, even just what she listed made me tired. I do a lot around the office, but they are stuck to a schedule and really have to make sure that your kids are seen on time, that they're seen in a nice environment. They set up the TV. They make sure that everything is, when your child comes in, they hide all the instruments, things like that. There's really a lot of special techniques that go into pediatrics specifically. And so they are trained to really make sure that they are taking care of your children properly. So one thing, we went through all the list of kind of what you have to do, and you have to come in 30 minutes early, and you're usually here 30 minutes or an hour after all the patients are gone. So there's a lot of work there. But what do you really enjoy about your job?
Pediatrics specifically is the kids. You don't really know what they're going to say or how they're going to say it, or you could just be randomly talking to them and they'll be like, my mom didn't brush her teeth this morning. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks for sharing. But they've got the craziest stories.
Sure. I think we fall into that line of teachers too, that kids just say the darndest things. So that's fun. So that kind of leads me into, we were talking earlier, so I want to talk to you about, as kids say some kind of strange things, I want to know one of the funniest stories that you have about a kid coming into the practice.
Sure. So it was a little while ago, but I mean, they were probably 5 or 6 on the laughing gas. And he kind of just kept looking at me and he was like, hey, can you be my girlfriend? I was like, well, buddy, I don't know if that's allowed, He goes, why? Oh, because of COVID, because we couldn't kiss because of COVID, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's the reason. You're right.
Right. It's not an age thing.
Not
right?
an age thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, obviously at PDA, we like to have fun. So as far as like other offices you've worked in versus the office that you're working in now, can you tell me kind of like just comparatively, like what is it like to work for PDAO? What is it like to work for our owners and our practice?
Sure. They definitely take care of us. You never have to worry really about anything. If you're sick, you should, we're not scared to just call and be like, hey, look, I can't make it. If you need, really anything at all, they're there. Everyone here is a listening ear. When we got shut down, they did take care of us as far as our healthcare insurance. They didn't expect us to pay any of it back because, we got shut down, so we didn't have pay, but they went ahead and paid for that for us, which to me spoke a lot. That's expensive.
Sure.
And to do it for the whole practice, that's a lot.
Sure. So, what are a couple things that you wish people knew more about being a dental assistant or about your position? Like as far as when parents come in, they're kind of seeing you with the patient and things like that. But what do you wish that they knew more about?
The knowledge that we actually do know. So I believe our job is to really be like the middleman for the doctor and the parent. And they could ask me something and I could tell them, they kind of second guess it, ask the doctor the same thing, and they give the exact same answer I gave. So, we're trained, we are very knowledgeable. There's a lot that goes into this. And, if we don't know, we're honest, like, hey, I don't know, let's wait for the doctor type thing. So there's a lot of knowledge, and I think that we are very knowledgeable with our job for sure.
Sure. And I think in pediatrics too, it's a little bit different. I think parents are used to going and seeing their general dentist, and
Yes.
general dentists do a lot of different procedures. There's a lot of different things. But in pediatrics, a lot of our stuff is super repetitive. So we're doing the same thing over and over and over and over every day. And so they really do start to build that knowledge base from day one. They go through a very rigorous training program. Some actually go to dental assisting school and learn a lot of that. And then we also train on the job. There's a minimum of 2 weeks training that goes into how the teeth are numbered, where they're all located, like different things like that, OSHA, infection control, like all kinds of things they have to learn on top of a practice management system.
Yeah.
And so they really do know a lot. And we know that as parents, the dentist giving you the information can put your mind at ease, but we do want you to know that we do thoroughly train our staff. And so, again, if they don't know the answer, they're definitely going to direct you to the dentist. But I think that's a really good point, that our dental assistants do go through a lot of training. I know to get your dental license, you have to take a test. You have to get your certified by the state. Yes. You have to go through a nitrous course. You have to go through CPR. Yes. And am I forgetting something? Nitrous, CPR.
The polishing.
OSHA, the polishing.
Yeah.
There's a coronal polishing and x-ray test that they take that has to be turned into the state. So they do get certificates. They go through an exam, not obviously as rigorous as a dentist, but they are certified by the same board that certifies your dentist. So we just want you to know, and I think Hannah said it very plainly, that they do know a lot, and they work really hard to know that information. They also work very hard to stay on top of all that information. I think when COVID hit, it really proved how resilient our dental assistants are, in that, when it was really in the heat and in the thick of things, there were a lot of restrictions. They were having to wear all kinds of gear and glove, and they still wear everything, the gloves, the lab jackets, but now they're had to add face shields, certain kinds of masks, and they've really gone through the ringer on that. So I for one, am really impressed with how y'all have handled that. As a front desk staff member, we've had to wear a mask, but we haven't had to go through all of the stuff that they have. So, and then last but not least, let's just talk a little bit about, if you're interested in becoming a dental assistant and you can't exactly come to PDAO and get trained on the job, what is entailed in that? Like, what types of schooling or anything would you need? Do you think it's better to go to a dental assisting school or get trained on the job, or does that depend?
I think that depends on the person. So I was trained on the job almost 10 years ago, and to me, it's you can learn all the textbook knowledge and stuff in the school, but you don't really develop the hands-on experience until you actually start the job. Now, school is very good for the knowledge part, as far as like which teeth are which, what all the instruments are called, that type thing. But you don't get a whole lot of hands-on experience. That comes more from the job part. So it just kind of depends. If you can find somewhere that does on-the-job training, I suggest that, because they will get you certified through the test. They still give you all the knowledge. You just get to learn on the job while you're doing it. If you're the type of person that's going to go to school, you do the same stuff. You just expect that your hands-on experience and knowledge is going to come after the school, not while you're learning. And I'll just give a little piece of advice that no matter where you get your certificate or anything, your knowledge is going to change based on who you work for. So every dentist calls things different. They expect things different. So you can, learn all the basics, but just keep an open mind and know that things are going to change and you're going to have to relearn things basically when you find the doctor that you're going to work for.
For sure. I think that's perfect. I think you hit it right on the head. I know when I first started working at PDAO, goodness, in 2005, I trained as a dental assistant, and it just was not for me. I was told later I probably wasn't that great at it, and that's okay. But I still developed that base knowledge that I need to continue my job in the dental field, and I've been here for 15 years, and I just continue to build on that every year. So I do agree. There's those two roads, and whichever one works for you is, what works for you. So I think that's the best one you should choose.
Yeah.
So just in closing, just want to make sure that we're letting all of our dental assistants out there, whether you work for us here at PDAO or out in the dental world in Northwest Arkansas or across the U.S., we really do see the value in having you as members on our team. And we really, really appreciate you showing up every day, because we definitely could not run our practice without you. So we want to thank Hannah for being the brave one to come on here. I will drop her TikTok handle in the comments. You can follow her on TikTok. I joke with her all the time. She's TikTok famous, but that's, just another thing. No. She says she doesn't do very much, but it's really cute. So she's adorable. And we really just appreciate everything that you're doing. I know that in our office here in Bentonville that we have a lot of dental assistants here, and we're very blessed to have the staff that we have. So again, thank you guys so much as our dental assistants for taking care of all of our patients. And so for today, that is all that we have. So we're going to say goodbye to Hannah, and then I'm going to say goodbye. And just remember that as long as you're watching us here on social media, you'll be kept in the know, and we'll see you guys again next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and go visit us on smilesarwild.com.